on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Crime Center. Hope you had a good weekend, beautiful Sunday, and thank you all for tuning back in. So, my first prison-related video I made a few days ago, well, it was basic. I really only talked about the process of entering the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and barely touched on some of the gangs that are in there. Today, I'm going to expand what life is like on the inside. Everything I speak of is 100% known by all the prisons, all the guards. The few things I cannot talk about in depth are individual stories of events that have not been solved, crimes that went unsolved. I won't be snitching on anyone or anything. That's not my business. So hit that like and subscribe button and let's get into it. So I guess I can start off with daily life. When I was locked up, I would wake up about 5 o'clock in the morning to eat breakfast in the chow hall. Guards would usually go on the speakers and announce for everybody to get ready for chow. They'll usually call it 5 minutes early so you can brush your teeth and wash your face, get the sleep out of your eyes. Fun fact, not everyone in prison does this, and there are plenty of dudes that are dirty and don't do their hygiene right. So anyways, after about 5 minutes, the guard in the control center will pop all the doors. Everything is electronic, so they push a button and it opens either one door at a time, or they can push multiple buttons and opens up all the doors. Usually when they opened all the doors, the cells will pop, which means they'll open from cell 101 to 121, and then upstairs from 201 to 221. There's two people to a cell, so that means there's probably about 84 guys in that pod. 84 people start moving around. Another CO comes behind all the open doors and starts closing them. You're either out or you're not. I mean, you're going to go to chow or you're not going to go to chow. After breakfast, we get locked back in, try to get a little more sleep. Then at around 7 a.m., I would get called to go to the hoe squad. It's exactly what the name says. A group of inmates goes to the fields. We are given a garden tool called a hoe, and we get to hitting weeds and turning up dirt all day long. 8 hours. We work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. We don't get paid for it. In my opinion, that's just modern day slavery. But that's not just for that job. That's for all jobs in TDC. There are people who work in the fields, work in the kitchen, maintenance, custodians, laundry room, you name it. Any job, nobody gets paid for it. Without inmates doing all of this free labor, prisons wouldn't even function. Day-to-day operations would not be successful. Inmates basically operate all of TDC with just a few guards watching us. If there's one thing I could do in my life, it would be to help people incarcerated. That's something that I would love to do because I've been there and I know how it is. I think it's just right that inmates get treated like humans and not animals. I know we put ourselves in that position and we're paying for those crimes by losing all of our freedom, our years of our life, years of our families' lives. Inmates could at least be given basic courtesies. If there's one thing in this world that is the most expensive, most irreplaceable, and is an ultimate punishment, that's losing years of your life that you can never get back. No one is perfect, and everyone at some point has done something you weren't supposed to do. For those that haven't done that, congrats, but most of us have. So anyways, after work, you get back to the dorm and you could shower. A shower time can be one of two things. Hold on, I think I got my camera a little messed up. Keeps looking like I'm looking down. Let's try that. Something like that. I'm still trying to learn all this stuff, man. Y'all bear with me a little bit. So a shower could be one of two things. It could be relaxing and peaceful, or it could be dangerous and chaotic. You always have to be on guard either way. If you're lucky, you get to shower, get clean, unwind. If you're not so lucky, shower is a place a lot of violence happens. People think you're the weakest and most vulnerable when you're in there because you're ass naked. You got soap in your eyes, no shoes strapped up, ready to go. So usually if you have some homeboys, you'll let them know, hey, homeboy, I'm about to take a shower. Watch my back, so they can look out for you. If you don't have any homeboys, then you better hope you haven't pissed anybody off. Or you're done. Stick a fork in you, you're done. Then you usually go and you kick it with whoever you're cool with. You can go gamble to pass time, but I highly recommend you stay away from gambling. I don't care where you hear it from, almost everybody's going to say stay away from gambling. Gambling is the quickest way to get into some deep doo doo. There's TV, your radio, you can work out, you could go to rec, draw, write letters, and or drink some coffee. Coffee's like gold, and a lot of people in there drink it all day, every day. Then, after you pass that time, you get to go to last chow. You eat, go back to the dorm, find ways to pass the time again before bedtime. That's usually called rack time, and you have to rack it up and go back to your cell for the night. And then I forgot to mention lunch, but as a worker, you usually eat there if you work in the kitchen, or you go to the chow hall from your work, and then back to the cell. So yes, it is 3 meals a day, and to people who haven't been there, that sounds very adequate. But if you've never been there, it's not enough. It doesn't fill you up. It is not adequate. It's literally a tray like you would find in schools. You eat, your stomach still burns all day from the hunger, so you better have some money or you better have a hustle so you can bust down them spreads at night. So some nights are very boring, uneventful, forgettable. Then you have drama most nights, most days. There's always someone being messy and starting shit, or people feel like they've been disrespected. And then you have idiots who do stupid shit. I'll get into one story just to kick off my storytelling future of prison. But before I do me a solid, hit the like and subscribe button. You're a real one, and I appreciate you. So, for my first story, let me tell you now, it's messed up. The dude deserved everything he got. He was in one of the biggest gangs in Texas prison, but I'm not going to name names, and I'm not going to name the name of the gang. I don't want anyone getting offended or feeling some type of way about anything, but it's all respect to them gangs in prison. They all believe what they believe in, and they back up their beliefs every day in there. They're usually full of good people, and it's sad that just because they rep a certain thing, they won't ever be cool with someone who reps something different. And the whole time, most of them are light, good people, easy to hang out with. You know, you hate to see your race not get along with other people of your same race. I feel like that's crazy, but it is what it is. They each got something different that they believe in, but most of their beliefs are the same, and they do what they got to do to rep what they rep. So, anyways, in that gang, there was these two dudes. They're basically inseparable. They did everything together, and I mean everything. They would chill all day, play spades, watch TV, walk to the chow hall together, work out, hang out in each other's cell, just telling stories, drawing, tattoos. They were real homeboys. You saw one, you saw the other. So I've seen these guys every day for a good year like this. It was a normal thing to see. So one day I seen one guy hooded up with all his homeboys. He was in the center, and a lot of his homeboys were circled around him in a group. He was talking. You could tell he was pretty pissed off. His homeboy that's always with him is nowhere around, though. And it stuck out like a sore thumb because you're used to seeing these guys together through everything. So I'm sitting at the table looking around, and I see him standing at his cell door, still locked inside. He had just showered, so I'm thinking in my head, maybe he went in to go put his stuff up, got locked in. So I didn't really think much of it. And apparently the guy in the cell didn't either because he was looking around, see his homeboys all hooded up. He just chilling. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. So his homeboys break the huddle, and a few of them went upstairs to their homeboy's cell to talk to him. I could hear very little of what they were saying, but basically they told him someone had messed up and they would talk to him once the doors were popped so they could decide what they were going to do. When something like this happens, everybody's listening, but no one's looking. You're basically being nosy and minding your business at the same time. So I'm thinking like, damn, someone's about to get smashed on. Because when that group gets together, they're not playing around. It's usually going down. This group's known for taking care of business. And they have a huge amount of members. So anyways, fast forward to the cells being popped. Me being curious, I start looking around at what's going on, see what's out of place, who's holded up, how many people are holded up, and what the tension is, and whether it's aimed at me or not. You can tell when something is not right and it's aimed at you. That's something that you learn very quickly. And if you don't survive in prison. It's simple as that. So when I see the dude is still up in his cell, he grabs the door and he closes it. He doesn't come out. Odd. Once his homeboys noticed, they asked him like, "Hey, what's up?" He says he was taking a shit. So that's odd, but it's also possible. Something in me flips a switch and red flags are starting to go off though. So look, in prison you always have a few guys that know everything. And I mean everything. So I go up to one of these dudes and I say, "What's up, man? I see some shit's about to go down. What's the word?" He tells me what's going on. The two homeboys were in the cell together hanging out for a while. The one who was locked in a cell currently ended up leaving his homeboy's cell to go take a shower. He does his thing, goes back to his cell, and locks in. His other homeboy thought it was a good time to shower as well, and he told him, "Hey, let me get after you. I got next." After his homeboy got out and locked it up, he went into the stall next, the one his homeboy just got out of. But he comes out and starts calling his boys together. He didn't shower or nothing. Fast forward to the dude who's supposed to come out of a cell. I guess he realized his mistake, closed his door instead of coming out. He done figured what's going on. In my mind, he was just prolonging the inevitable. But what he thought, locking back up was probably the best thing for him to do at that moment. Maybe try to come up with a game plan, figure out what to do. So, fast forward another hour, and two of his homeboys go and talk to a guard that's in the guard tower, outside of the dorm. And this particular guard was one that was real cool with this group. I guess they talked to him, tell him whatever they said. And since he was so cool with them, the dudes got him to open up their homeboy's cell. But the guard didn't open it up right away. He waited until the two dudes who talked to him stood by the cell to make sure that the dude couldn't close it again. So they're there, the guard opens it, and they step inside to make sure that he ain't gonna be able to slam the door shut or nothing. And when that happens, about 20 of those members go upstairs and make a line outside of that dude's cell. Literally 20. I'm sitting there looking, and I'm not just thinking it, I feel it. Like, this dude's about to die. I'm like, damn. The first two that had went in start beating on him. You can hear the universal sound of a prison ass kicking. It's the sound of shoes squeaking on the concrete floor and thuds of the fist hitting flesh. Two more dudes go in, and you hear more squeaks and thuds. Now it's four guys on him, and you could just hear it. They're beating this dude good. After a while, two go out, and two more go in. Remember, there's 20 dudes standing there. This goes on for a minute. They beat him. Two guys will come out, two more will go in. Four guys beating him at all times while the other two switch. And two more go out, two more go in. That line of 20s just all going in this cell. Two at a time, two at a time. So needless to say, this dude did not walk out. Eventually medical would come. I don't know if they called or said, hey, come get this guy, he's dying or dead or whatever. Medical would come and end up carting him out on a stretcher. The dude was unrecognizable. You could see him laying there as they carted him out. Unrecognizable. Have you ever heard that term, beaten to a pulp? Well, that's exactly what he looked like. Just like that term, beaten to a pulp. I was thinking in my mind, like, man, this dude ain't gonna live. And I honestly don't know if he did or not. I never heard about him again. I didn't care to ask because I felt he deserved what he got. Why, you may ask? I'm pretty sure when I tell you, you're gonna think the same thing. I don't really know anybody who wouldn't think the same thing. So, when his homeboy went to shower and then got out, he went to go jump in. And when he had already took his clothes and everything off and he was about to get that water going, there was something on the wall. He looked at that thing on the wall, took it off, put his shit back on, and went straight to his homeboys and started telling them what was up. So the dude had stolen some pictures from his homeboy's cell. And the pictures were of him and his wife and kids. He had put it in a plastic bag, sealed it up so it wouldn't get wet, and stuck it to the wall. The plastic, if you wet it, you stick it to the wall and it'll stick there. So this dude was jerking off to a picture he had put in plastic of this dude's wife and kids who were like 4 or 5 years old. When he got out of the shower, I guess he forgot that it was clinging to the wall and never noticed it until later, which is why he locked himself back in the cell, trying to escape the consequences of what he was doing. Now, I'm sure everyone agrees when I say he got what he deserved. That's one of the biggest things that is a no-no anywhere, to be doing things like that to pictures of somebody else's wife and kids. And he got severely beat for that. Honestly, could be dead, I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure you agree with me. He got what he deserved. So the stories that I have is 10 years worth, and that's an insane amount of stories that I have, way more outrageous than the one that I just told you. So don't forget, hit that like and subscribe so you can be notified when my new videos drop. And stay tuned for them 10 years worth of stories, which is an insane amount. And thank you for watching. Thanks for showing love. You're much appreciated. Until next time, stay tuned.